Well, hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Go Math Lesson 8.8. Let's check in with Jesse Bear and see what he has to say about measuring lengths with different tools.
How do you choose a measuring tool to use when measuring lengths?
Hello! There were some workers in the woodland earlier. They were talking about putting new covers around the trash cans to make them look nicer. I think that's a great idea. Click the trash can to see my idea for a new cover. How's this? Not bad, huh? But you know, in order to cover the trash can, the workers will need to know the measurement around the can. I wonder what they should measure it with. Come on, let's see how to choose a measuring tool.
Each of these strings shows a different distance. Let's measure each distance using color tiles. Start with the first string. Let's place the left edge of the first tile under the left end of the string. Now let's place color tiles side by side with no space between them until we reach the right end of the string. So what's the length of the string in color tiles? It measures 5 color tiles. Now measure the length of the second string. Again, let's place the left edge of a tile under the left end of the string. And then we place more tiles of the same size next to each other with no space between them until we reach the other end of the string. What's the length of the second string? It measures 8 colored tiles. Which string is longer? The second string is longer. Let's look at some tools for measuring lengths and distances. An inch ruler shows 1 foot. You can use it to measure shorter lengths, like the length of a phone or a pencil. A yardstick shows 3 feet. You can measure greater lengths and distances with it, like the length of a wall or the height of a door. You can use a measuring tape to measure lengths and distances that aren't flat or straight, like the distance around a basketball or the distance around a drinking glass. You can bend a measuring tape around curved objects. Which is the best tool to measure the length of a pen? Select your answer. That's right. A pen is a short, straight object, so the best tool for measuring the length of a pen is the inch ruler. Now let's practice with the personal math trainer. Now try your homework on your own with the personal math trainer.
Thanks for helping me figure out what to use to find the measurement around the trash can. See you soon!
Okay, boys and girls, so you should have your paper, lesson 8.8 for math. And we'll talk about what we're supposed to do in this lesson. It may be a little difficult since we're not in the classroom right now, but you can do some of this at home as well and have a little bit of fun too. On this page, it says, our essential question is, how do you choose a measuring tool to use when measuring lengths? And I do not have a yardstick here at home, but I have a a big measuring tape that you guys might see around your house. And a yardstick is actually 3 feet long. So I'm going to pull this out and show you. It's 36 inches, right about there. So if I really lean back in my big red chair, you can see that it goes from there to there. It's pretty long. It's like 3 rulers put together. And if you have something that you can measure with, you can make your own measuring tape by taking a piece of yarn or string and holding it right up against one end, and then cutting it when it gets to 36 inches or 3 feet long, about this length. Okay, so now I have a string or a piece of yarn that is exactly 3 feet long. So you can measure with this. And you want to measure 2 different distances and see how many yards or how many pieces of string that are 36 inches long, 3 feet long, does it take to measure 2 different distances. Now, if we were in the classroom, I would take blue tape, blue painter's tape, and I would lay out, maybe 2 or 3 different distances for groups to go around and measure. But we can't do that here, but I hope that you can do that at home and make your own measuring tape or your own yardstick and go around and measure. Okay, so if we move on to the next page, on this page, we talk about an inch ruler, a yardstick, and a measuring tape. So you can use different tools to measure different lengths. An inch ruler can be used to measure shorter lengths and things that are flat, like in Jessie Bear video, measuring a pen. You would want to use just a ruler because a ruler is short and so is a pen. Now a yardstick shows 3 feet. It can be used to measure greater lengths and distances. So if you wanted to measure all the way down your hallway, if you have a hallway in your house, or all the way across a room, you could use a yardstick, and you would take the yardstick, and remember, I don't have one with me right now, but I do have a measuring tape that I have measured out to 3 feet. So if this were a yardstick like we have in the classroom, we would just place those yardsticks end to see how many yards something is. So sometimes we measure by feet, which is the ruler. Sometimes we measure by yards, which is a yardstick. And then sometimes we use a measuring tape. A measuring tape can be used to measure lengths and distances that are not flat or straight. So if I wanted to measure the distance around my water bottle, I would want to use a plastic or cloth measuring tape. So see, something hard like this doesn't really go around it, or won't really go around it. But if you have something soft, a measuring tape, that would go around to measure. So maybe you have those around your house and you could use those. So as we move on to the share and show, choose the best tool for measuring the real objects. Then measure and record the length or distance. Now the first one is a book. Now, would you want to use an inch ruler, yardstick, or measuring tape? So unless it's a super huge book, you could probably, do you think a book is this long? No, probably not. And would you need the flexible measuring tape? Nah, you probably wouldn't need a flexible or soft measuring tape. So I think maybe a ruler. Okay, so then we would want to type in ruler right here, or write in ruler. And then if you have a book that you can measure with a ruler, you want to write the length right here. Now mine that I measured it was about 11 inches. Whoops, inches. There we go. Now, look at this cup. What tool do you think we would use? An inch ruler? A ruler. I don't know if I could get a ruler around a cup. How about a yardstick? Could we get? No. So what tool would we use? Yeah, a measuring tape. And we can see that it says it right here, so we don't have to worry about not knowing how to spell. So we can just copy that one is a measuring tape. So that goes on there. Now I wonder how far around that would be. Well, if you don't have the measuring tape, I can maybe teach you how to find the distance. If you have your string of any kind, you can take your string, and this actually isn't even a string. This is the phone charger. So you can wrap it around whatever you're trying to measure, and hold your hand right where it ends, and it's about, can you believe that it's this long around my water bottle? Then you can take a ruler or a measuring tape, hold it, put the end right up against the 0 and pull it straight. And this is 12 inches. So it is 12 inches around my water bottle. So we want to type 12 inches. But it might be less around a cup that you're measuring. So if you don't have the same answers that I do, don't worry about it. You just go ahead and put whatever measurement you got, and that would be great. So let's moving on to the next page. This page says on your own. So I'm hoping that you might be able to do something similar to this at home. But it says choose the best tool for measuring the real object. Then measure and record the length or distance. So this one says chalkboard. If you don't have a chalkboard at home, what does this remind you of? I'm looking at something in my distance over there in my living room that looks kind of like this. So TV, maybe you could measure your TV if you have a TV. If not, maybe a window. And then we have a marker. Everybody has a marker or a pen or a pencil. And of course, the TV or window or chalkboard might be pretty long, longer than a ruler, and it's straight. So remember, if it's not straight, you use the flexible measuring tape. And then a globe. Well, what if you don't have a globe? If you don't have a globe at home, maybe you have a ball, and you could measure around a ball. And could we use a ruler or a yardstick? No, because they don't bend. We need something that can bend. So a measuring tape that goes around. And if you don't have a measuring tape, remember you can use string and find out how long the string is, how long, how much it took to get all the way around, and then keep your finger right there and measure it from one end to the other. And then you write the length there. And this one, number 6, says the length of a classroom wall. Now, if we were in the classroom, I have a bunch of yardsticks, and we would probably lay those yardsticks down end to end. Or if you have a great big huge measuring tape like this one that goes 30 feet, you could probably just keep pulling this one out and making it longer. But try to find a distance across a room of some kind and see if you can measure it and put your answer down on there. So moving on to the next page. Okay, the next page. Rachel wants to measure the length of a sidewalk. Should she use an inch ruler or a yardstick? And then you want to explain. The length of a sidewalk. Well, sidewalks can be pretty long. So I don't know if an inch ruler, she would have to put that inch ruler and then just keep on lining it up. So let's see what the puppets say on this one. And then we'll be right back.
Welcome to another episode of Puzzling Times. Jeannie, do you have our next question from one of our viewers?
Yes, I do, Professor Berger. Today's puzzle is coming from Rachel. Hi, Rachel. She's got a question about measuring a driveway.
Let's check it out together. So Rachel wants to measure the length of a driveway. Should she use an inch ruler or a yardstick?
Oh, so many options.
Exactly. So let's just take a look and see. So here is an inch ruler, which measures in terms of units of feet. And you can see it would be a long time to kind of go all the way through and carefully measure because the driveway is really, really long and the inch ruler is actually very, very short.
It sure is.
So you could do it, but it would take a long, long, long time.
Is there another way?
There is another way because we can always turn to the faithful yardstick. Now, the yardstick is actually equal to 3 feet.
Oh.
And let me just show that to you really fast. So it's much longer because you see it has 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 feet. So we actually see that a yardstick is 3 feet, which is a lot longer than the inch ruler. So it would actually be a lot easier and make a lot more sense to measure the driveway using a yardstick because you only have to measure now a few times. You see how easy it is to measure in that case? So since the driveway is so long, you want to use a longer measuring tool. And in this case, the measuring tool of choice, given these two options, would be the longer one, which is the yardstick, because that equals 3 feet versus just an inch ruler, which measures 1 foot. So the answer would be Rachel should use a yardstick. A driveway is very long, and it would take more measurements to use an inch ruler. So the measuring tool of choice for this job is the yardstick.
Oh, thank you for your help, Professor Berger.
Of course.
I should go and tell Rachel right away.
Absolutely. Hey, but wait. But by the way, do you know why Rachel wants to actually measure the driveway at all?
Well, it says here she just wants to check and see if it's big enough that she can park her elephant in it.
Her elephant? Yikes! Let's hope that it's long enough to hold the elephant. Have fun with math, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, boys and girls, that was pretty funny. So Rachel wanted to find out if there was enough room in her driveway to have her pet elephant. And elephants are pretty big. So sidewalks are pretty long as well. So we would probably go with the yardstick. And that would be to just measure a segment of a sidewalk because, you know, sidewalks go on and on for a whole block or more. So we could pick a small amount of the sidewalk and measure with a yardstick. So we would want to write right here, yardstick, because do you remember how many feet there are in a yardstick? Yes, there are 3 feet in a yardstick. So if we can measure by 3 feet at a time, then we'll be able to measure a lot faster. So, so our answer might be that we want to use a yardstick because a sidewalk is very long and it would take a very long time to measure a sidewalk with inch rulers. So I know that's kind of a long answer, but we'll try to make it as short as possible. A sidewalk is very long. We'll make a compound sentence. How about that? Comma, and using an inch ruler would take too many rulers. Something like that. Maybe you can come up with a better way of wording that. I always love it when students can come up with a really great way of explaining why we do certain things the way we do in math. So if you measure the sidewalk, it might take 4 rulers, but if you used an inch ruler, if it took 4 yardsticks, this is another problem to think about. If something were 4 yardsticks long, how many rulers would that be? Well, I'm going to let you figure that one out. Remember, there's 3 rulers in each yardstick. So if there's 4 yardsticks, then there's 3, there's 3, there's 3, and there's 3. Count by 3s 4 times. And then all of a sudden you're doing multiplication and you're getting ready for 3rd grade, all on your own. Okay, so for number 8, what is an object that you would measure with a measuring tape, and explain why you would use this tool? So this I'm going to leave for you to do, but think of an object we've talked about. Let's see, I've got a water bottle here, balls and globes, things that go in a circle. But what do you have around your house or your room or somewhere that you would need a measuring tape to go around to measure it? And then explain why you would use that tool. And then for number 9, the last one for today, Jim measures the length of a picnic table with an inch ruler. Is Jim using the best tool for measuring? And then explain. So a picnic table is pretty long. In fact, it might be even longer than a yardstick. So it might be 2 or 3 yardsticks. So we talked about how there's 3-inch rulers in a yardstick. So that would be a lot of inch rulers. So we might want to explain that, why Jim would use a yardstick maybe instead of an inch ruler. So so I'm going to let you guys answer that on your own. And think about that. This lesson is all about thinking about what tool is the best tool when you need to measure the length of something. And it could be a straight length. Lengths are very important. Or it could be a circular length around something. So good luck with measuring, and I hope you find some fun measuring tools around your house or at the store, and have fun with math as always. And we'll see you next time for lesson 8.9. Bye, boys and girls.